What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Elite Zone podcast. Listen, most of you agents out there, you're still optimizing for Google search. And look, Google search still matters, guys, but something has shifted now in how buyers and sellers are actually finding agents. Okay, so that's what we're going to be talking about today. It's the AI search shift. And this is going to be why the agents building their presence right now are going to win over the next 2 years. So this is Elite Zone. We're excited. Let's get into it. Yes, everybody. What's going on, Blake? How are you this morning? Fill me
Top of
in.
the morning. We are feeling good. We are ready to go. I was just listening where the song's like Friday day, Saturday, Sunday. What?
Oh, yeah. If you can write a song that's just about like going through the week and celebrating Friday, I feel like everybody can relate to
Resonate
that.
with that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, hey, listen, we're celebrating Friday today with all of you guys, but this is important stuff, right? So, we want to talk about this shift that's happened. And, Blake, I still get a lot of agents saying, I need to rank on Google, number one on Google. So, there's still a lot of Google focus and that, the playbook was simple, but it's not like that anymore. So, how is the shift happening? And, why are buyers and sellers moving over to AI?
That's a great question. And I'm so excited to dive into it with you because, yes, we hear it over here as well, where, we're still kind of SEO heavy focused. And
Hmm.
SEO definitely is a little tiny sliver portion of where we're headed and honestly, like where we're in right now. I like to say, like, it's not a trend, it's a transformation. And this transformation has already started. We are months deep into AI, and as it continues to enhance, it's more important than ever to understand how to leverage it and use it. But yeah, the shift is just understanding AEO, GEO,
Hmm.
and understanding that AI sites, it does not just go about recommending, who's paying the most, which I
Hmm.
know SEO used to be, where
Yeah.
who's ever paying the most
Yeah. Which
is
is
right.
cool. It's cool, right? Because it's leveled the playing field,
Exactly.
right? Because before, like, let's say, my family was wealthy and I wanted to become a real estate agent. And so I just pumped, 10, 15, $20,000 a month into marketing
Mm.
and got some ads and got some business. Like that's great. But now the people that have been hustling and building their organic brand,
Yeah.
those people are the ones that AI is looking at that and saying, okay, like it's not just ad budget. How
Yep.
long has this person been in business? What's their reputation like? How many reviews do they have? Are they putting valuable content on social media? And I hear, I've had agents say, this isn't sustainable for me. How long do I have to do this? And I always say, forever. Like if this is unfortunately and fortunately, right? But unfortunately and fortunately, this is ad infinitum. Like you guys, I know it's hard, but this is why we're talking about the shift and how to optimize it. So I just wanted to
100%.
to hop in there. Continue, Blake. I apologize for derailing you.
No, I think that that's awesome. I think that like I said, the shift's already happened. We've talked about this before and I'll talk about it again, that we need to think in who our buyers are now, what age they are, what generation that they have grown up in. You might have a young buyer who, let's say, is 29 years old and they're a first time home buyer. This is the first time getting into real estate. They've been
Yeah.
saving up for so long. And let's say that they are, moving from, I don't know, San Diego to Texas.
Mm.
And they need to understand like where to look, who to look for, what they're looking at.
Yep.
And what those types of buyers are doing is they're not opening up page 2 of Google and researching agents for 3-4 hours. They're not. What they are doing is they're opening up, Google for their AI mode that they have. They're opening up ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity. And what they're typing in is saying, like, who are the best real estate agents in, I don't know, Houston, Texas,
Mm-hmm.
for first time buyers
Mm-hmm.
under 800K.
Yep.
And what's happening is they are expecting one answer
Yep.
instantly.
Yep.
And they are trusting this recommendation because buyers, and honestly really just anyone, is kind of feeling like AI is curating to them and it's not an advertisement. I know sometimes on Google, right below, now that AI mode has really enhanced on Google, below that you'll see where it says sponsored.
Mm-hmm.
It's not actually that brand or company, but it's a sponsored website that, once again, pays all this money to make it to you click on their website.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that feels like it's advertised. It
100%.
feels like I'm being targeted to
Yep.
then my data go to this site, where AI, once again, is citing based off of what AI knows of the history of who you are, what you search, what you like, and it's going to recommend someone based off of that. So that's why people are relating a lot more to those answers than
Yeah.
going and scrolling on pages long on Google.
Yeah, no, I think you nailed it. The word, a curated list, right?
Yeah.
So the difference is on Google, like this is how consumerism has shifted. Is on Google, I got to type a little bit more and it's a little colder, right?
Yeah.
But with AI, I got a buddy that's like, "Hey Max, I know you, bro. Like we've been talking about all kinds of stuff. Yeah, what's going on? What do you need?" You know what I mean? Like my AI know my Claude and my Chat GPT, they know enough about me now. So if I ask for something, it might say, "Hey, like here's 3 restaurants you might like, but this one you specifically talked to me about this sauce before."
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like they're
Yeah.
they're
They'll give the recommendations and then it's like,
yes.
hey, out of these though, I feel like this is the one that most
This is
resonates
you.
with me.
Yes, exactly. So you want to be that agent, right? When somebody is searching, like Blake said, for a home in a neighborhood in Houston,
Yeah.
you want to be, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, or whoever. This
Yeah.
agent has, all of the key things that you are looking for, or, 1, 2, and 3, and you're in that list, but however they ask for it. But that's the
Exactly.
point. And we're talking about how to do that here. So what are the signals, Blake, that AI uses to evaluate you? Because I know we talk about this, but what do I need to be doing for AI to look at my real estate business and say, this guy, I'm going to recommend this guy?
Yeah, absolutely. So I like to break it down into 5 different signals basically that AI uses. I wouldn't say any specific order for these signals, but I do think that each one has such a importance, and like without one of these, none of them work, right? Like you need to make sure you have all 5 of these signals to be fully optimized and be leveraging the best way you can to AI. So the first one I like to start off with is accuracy. Accuracy is so important, making sure your name, phone number, address, brokerage all aligns on all of these directories. And I also want to say too, a lot of times, especially with all of this AI going on right now, agents sometimes only get hyper focused on Google, but there are so
Yep.
many directories.
Yep.
We have 70 plus that our real estate agents are connected to. And all of these directories are all important because we don't know exactly where everyone is like searching, right?
Yeah.
It's not just Google. Some people use Bing, some people use Yahoo, some
Yep.
people use Yellow Pages,
Or
Yelp,
next door, more the
City
personalized
Search.
things. Yeah,
Yeah, like
exactly.
there are so many directories out there, and
Right.
sometimes we kind of get fixated on just the one, but we have to make sure that we're accurate everywhere because we want to be accurate where everywhere buyers and sellers are searching. So now to kind of give an example, me with my examples, I love that.
Yeah. No, that's I love your examples. That's the best way to do it. You take
So
them through, hey, here's a real live example. So hey, go
we
for it.
Exactly. No, we have, some clients that have come on that before we've helped them and we've gotten them to where they need to be, they have had brokerage changes, right? And there might be someone listening right now that's like, hey, I'm actually currently looking at a new brokerage, or I just recently changed brokerages. Well, that is a common thing. That is not that crazy. We see a lot of times that agents are changing brokerages in their real estate career anywhere from 3 to 5 times, I would say. However, the thing that agents need to be aware of is when you change your brokerage, and a lot of times agents do advertise like, hey, I'm with this brokerage, I'm with Keller Williams, I'm with Compass,
Hmm.
I'm, wherever you, 21st Century, is if you don't go onto every single directory, which, like I said, there sometimes are 70 plus
Yeah, there's a
directories.
lot.
If you don't manually go into every single directory and change your brokerage name or change the phone number, maybe you had your brokerage phone number with the extension on it, and you don't do that, what happens is if a human's looking at that, they're like, wait, what company are they with? Are they with
Yeah.
Keller? Are they with Compass?
Yeah.
Now that doesn't really create that trust
Right.
because they're not sure where
Yep.
your brokerage is.
Yep.
Also, they're not going to do the work to go find out which one you are a part of.
Right.
They're going to be like, I have no idea.
Yeah.
And I'm
Next.
on to the,
Next.
yeah,
Yep.
throw back to that MTV show.
Yep.
Next.
Next.
Um,
Exactly.
but then what that looks like to AI is that they're an unreliable source because
Mhm.
even AI is like, I also don't know who they are a part of.
Yeah.
And this isn't giving me a good trust
No,
signal.
if you
So
can't get your address right,
yeah,
yeah.
I
Like,
can't recommend this to searchers
yep.
because I don't know. AI is not going to give false information to a
No.
certain extent,
Yeah.
right?
It can make mistakes, but it's looking to provide you with the best possible option.
Correct,
Yeah.
exactly. So when you have little things like that that are not accurate, it will hurt your ranking. It will hurt how AI cites you, and it might not even cite you, right? Let's even say we have agents that come on that are like a team versus a solo branding, right? So that could be like, I would say more so the common issues we see with that is more so like their Instagram profile says they're with the Johnson Group, let's say.
Yep.
But then on the Google business profile, they have, well, Sarah Johnson Realtor.
Yes.
But then Facebook says Johnson Homes San Diego.
Yeah.
And then their
Right.
website says Sarah Johnson Real Estate.
Right. Yep. I've seen
So
that exact same thing before. Yep.
yes, humans can piece that together, right? They can be like, okay, the agent photo is the same. I can kind of grasp that this is
Hmm.
probably the same person. Yes, they have, four different names, but I'm grasping that this is the
Right.
same person.
But it's
But
but it's just like if you're on Instagram and you go to tags, I've accidentally tagged the wrong person before because I was like, well, like literally their handle was yours, but there was like an underscore or a dot missing. So I have done that before, right? So
yeah,
to find the exact locked in,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, you want your branding to be consistent and accurate across every single platform. That just is good for your own branding positioning,
right.
but it's then easier for people to find you, right? They're like, "Oh, that is the go-to agent," if
Yes.
that's the name that you go by. Like,
Yep.
"Oh, yeah, I know the go-to agent. You know the go-to agent?
Yeah.
Let me pull them up." But what happens now on the AI side is AI struggles to verify whether those are the same businesses. Because once again, it's citing, it's pulling all the data that it has out on the web and it's saying, okay, let me look at the website. Let me look at the Facebook, the Instagram. Let me look at the Google business profile. I have 6 different names. This must not be the same person. And because, like I said, AI cites, it's not a human pulling these profiles and putting the puzzle pieces together. So this is where inconsistency really, really can hurt you when it
Hmm.
comes to you being mentioned and recommended on AI sites. And that is unfortunately how people are searching now. So yeah, being accurate and consistent is going to be top priority, at least the foundation level for that first signal. And then we kind of head into signal two, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your reviews. We love
Yep.
talking about reputation, reputation, reputation. What your clients are able to talk about you on these platforms. And there's many platforms, right? Like, yes, if you are wanting your Google business profile and the little map pack to start ranking, you want to get reviews on your Google business profile. If you
Yeah.
want to diversify so that there's reviews everywhere, I recommend having reviews on your Google, on your Facebook,
Yeah.
on your website,
Not
on
just one
your bill,
place. Yeah.
right? Like you can diversify as well, and just knowing the benefit of each one, right?
Yep.
So that's going to be the most important thing when it comes to like reputation. Now, I want to dive a little deeper into reviews. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that there's nothing wrong with if you have a review that's like, hey, Blake was amazing. She's great at her job. She's a
Yep.
great real estate agent. Like those are amazing words that someone took the time to write about you. That's awesome.
Yep.
However, if you want to elevate that, or you want to be able to be a result when AI is recommending agents, I would recommend, letting your clients know, hey, this is how the search works. This is how AI recommends. Would you be willing to throw in a little bit more verbiage into your review, right? And
Sure.
you can give them examples. You can literally copy and paste what other clients have written about you and to
Yeah.
say, hey, this helps me a little more. This
Yeah.
also helps if someone's looking for something specific, they know exactly how I can help them. So that review can read more of like, hey, Blake helped us buy our first home in Chula Vista using a VA loan and negotiated credits in a competitive market. So excited to continue working with her. In that review, I just named about 3 things that when someone's searching for homes in Chula Vista, someone's searching for VA loans, or someone's searching for credits, seller credits, the goal is that the more reviews like that, I'm going to be recommended. Because
Yep.
AI is going to be like, wait, hold on. I've actually seen this real estate agent, Blake, have these keywords in her reviews more than one time. And this might be a reliable resource to list. So that's why having more in your reviews is going to be more beneficial for you. However, like if you still get reviews, that's great. Like,
Yeah.
don't discredit the reviews, but if you're able to get more,
Specific.
yeah,
If
then that's
like yeah, like if you're in a specific neighborhood, if somebody
yeah,
sells their home and is like, hey, Blake was great. She helped me sell my home,
yeah,
my Chicago home or whatever. But
yeah,
if you're like, hey, would you mind saying, my Lincoln Park home,
yeah,
like specific, and you get enough people in your reviews, if that's the area you want to focus on, knowledgeable about Lincoln Park, help me
yeah,
buy a home in Lincoln Park, my Lincoln Park home sold in, you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
you do that with whatever you're targeting, right?
Exactly. Yeah, you could
Then
be targeting like luxury.
yeah.
If you don't have any sort of way to communicate that you do luxury in
Hmm.
that review, then AI is just not going to know. So, yeah, you
Exactly.
definitely want those key focused areas.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's
And your clients will be happy to do this, but if you've given them a good experience, they're not going to be, say like, no, F off. I don't want to do that for you. You know what I mean? They're going to do it. They're going to do
Yeah,
it.
100%.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and then that kind of leads into the signal 3, right? Which is your Google business profile. That is, I would say, the foundation of your directories. Once again, I'll keep saying it. There are 70 plus directories that we see that real estate agents can have profiles on. But of course, having that Google business profile, it's kind of like the foundation, the one that connects a lot of those directories together.
Yep.
So what we see is sometimes, clients will have a Google business profile, and that's great, right? Like maybe a few years ago, they were told by their brokerage, or maybe they were part of Agent Elite and they were told like, hey, you need a Google business profile. They created one, which is awesome. That's step 1, right? But what happens is then nothing else is done on that profile, and that's what we consider dead. And for AI, what it does is it sees inactivity activity and assumes that there's no relevancy for that business. And so what you want to make sure you're doing is you're uploading photos. You had a closing, upload that photo to your Google Business Profile, right? Like you service VA and first-time home buyers or luxury, add those as products on your Google Business Profile. You have, I don't know, holidays, right? You celebrate holidays. Put up a picture of your holiday celebration onto your Google Business Profile. You can also show who you are on your Google Business Profile. And then definitely make sure you have your website connected to your Google Business Profile, because AI also looks at that to make sure, like, hey, does this person have the ecosystem? Do they have more than just a Google Business Profile? Because they do like to cross reference. So making sure something just little simple like that, that does create trust and that does allow you to be chosen. So Google Business Profiles, if you are listening right now and you're like, you know what, that's kind of me right now. I created one, but I haven't done much with it. Like, don't worry. You have time to go ahead and add more things to it, whether, like I said, it's categories, products, services. Maybe you need to updo your description. If you're also listening and saying, I do need to do that, but I don't have the time, or I need some help and guidance. Heyo, we have experts that help agents daily on being able to do this stuff. So if either option resonates with you, like, go ahead, call us. If you're a client, call in, talk to your account manager to see how we can help you. And if you're not a client, call in and, check out how we can help you. So those are the two big things as far as the Google Business Profile and making sure it is up to date and accurate as well. So
Yeah.
yeah. So, and then that goes into our signal 4, right? Making sure you have content signals. So
hmm
we've talked about this last episode versus the generic versus the intentional. If this is your first episode you're listening to, I definitely recommend, not even just last week's, but months prior, listen to our podcast episodes. There's so much knowledge and education, but generic versus intentional content, there is a huge difference. So generic content, examples, just sold, just listed. Yes, that is good content. No one is saying that is not. But there's a difference between generic and there's a difference between intentional. So that's the generic. What is intentional? Intentional could say, hey, 3 mistakes VA buyers are making in San Diego right now, right? One is celebration content, just sold, just listed. And the other trains AI on your specialty. And that's the difference. That's what's going to make you stand out, not even just to buyers or sellers, but also to AI who is recommending you to those buyers and sellers. So make those little adjustments, make your content, and you can throw in the generic. Like, throw in, if you have just sold, just listed, like, make sure you post those, but make sure those are not the only things that you are posting. So, and then that also goes with neighborhood authority. Like, make posts about the neighborhoods that you want to get business in.
Exactly.
Like, make posts. I don't
Yeah,
know.
well, just really quick, great example. Somebody sees a review about somebody that sold a house in a specific neighborhood, and then
Yeah.
they go to that person's Instagram profile and they see a bunch of content of that
Yep.
agent in that specific neighborhood. That's how this stuff links up, guys. Like, that's
Yeah.
why you need, if you want to have successful ads and targeting and all that, and you're invisible and you
Yeah.
have no brand, that's going to come through when you're trying to sell to people, right? Because they're going to look you up. They're going to check you out.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. And I also too, like, it helps when you are saying, like, hey, if you're out and about, let's say you have an open house, right?
hmm
And you're like, you know what, the open house is in Coronado, San Diego.
hmm
And you go down to your open house, you set up your signs, but you go maybe an hour early, go to like the local area around the home, or even go to like a park nearby, a coffee shop nearby, stand outside of it and take a video and say, hey, this is the local coffee shop in Coronado. It's known for having the best Colombian coffee. I'm making things up. It has the best chocolate croissants. It's a great place to come on the weekends with your family, your significant other, your dog. It's dog friendly, whatever that is. And it just feels more engaging and personalized. And then also, too, what that does is AI is able to then say, hey, I'm seeing Blake's name associated with this area in their content that they're posting. And so now when someone searches, who knows Coronado's market well, guess what? I'm going to be a result. So that's why we want to emphasize real estate agents that are listening right now, make sure you're doing those little things
Yeah.
because then AI will recommend you. And those are the things that,
Yeah.
that clients are searching. They're
It
searching
is.
who knows the market the best because that's who I
Totally.
want working with me.
Yeah. So like think about it this way. AI is like a super, super smart, judgmental like person
Yeah.
that looks at your, instead of looking for a keyword like it used to be, or a
Yeah.
string of keywords, this is like, like somebody diving way into everything and being like, okay, cool, the keywords are there, but does everything else line up with the human that I'm trying to match up with this,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
that's what we're trying to say is that things are moving towards AI recommendations. And if you don't have all of these parts covered and
Mhm.
you're not building an ecosystem,
Yeah.
then your individual marketing efforts are not going to work as well.
Yeah.
And moving forward, it's just going to grow. So you want attention. You want to saturate the algorithm and make noise now because like who knows, like in 5 years like phones might not be, it might be all like meta glasses are coming, like the experiences are going to change, right?
Yeah.
So scrolling might be all done. So I'm always telling people like make noise now, like you don't know how things are going to change in the next 5 years. So that's
Yeah.
a conversation for a different time, but I
No,
don't know.
it's true though. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly it goes perfect into the last
Last
signal,
signal.
which is the cross-platform visibility, making sure you're visible everywhere,
Yep.
right? Like the one platform agent that's like, hey, you know what, I have my website, I put in everything into my website, I'm only going to use my website. When AI then goes and checks to see, okay, outside of the website, do they have social media platforms, are they connected to every single directory, do they have a
Mm-hmm.
Google business profile, is their
Mm-hmm.
information consistent and accurate, right? And if they can't find that, then it's going to have that little confidence in recommending you, right?
Yes.
So that's where the compounding effect comes in of like, you have your Google business profile, you have your website, you have other directories connected like Facebook, Yahoo, Bing, Yelp, City Search. I could
Yep.
keep going for days. I
Yeah.
could literally list 70 plus, but
Yep.
we're not going to do that.
Yep.
And making sure that you have your reviews. Is your content relevant? Is your content, generic or is it intentional?
Yeah.
Those are all the things that you want to be doing. And it's a system that compounds, right? Now, the thing that our agents love at Agent Elite is we have a all-in-one system that allows you to do that. We have our website that connects to our local presence tool, that connects to our design studio, that connects to the CRM. And with all of those things working together, it's basically giving signals all in this ecosystem going round and round. So when humans are looking, they're like, there's no doubt about who this person is, what they specialize in, and who they are. Okay. And then what AI does is like, there's no brainer to not recommend this person because they have everything working for each other and not giving that opposing information or things just scattered everywhere. So it's so important about having everything together so that
Yeah.
way it compounds.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, the local presence tool
Yeah, yeah,
that literally, it's not like a marketing campaign, right? It's like the infrastructure layer that every other piece of your online presence depends on, right?
yeah,
So that's what we're talking about with local presence with Agent Elite. What we can do is we can easily
manage.
manage all of these different listings for you, make sure that
Yeah,
they're up to date. So you update one, this is my true real info. and then we submit it, and our tech will deploy that out to all the different online listing platforms
Yeah,
for you.
and the important thing too is like this isn't like a one and done. These directories are constantly updating, are
Hmm.
constantly changing, are
Yep.
constantly looking at new information. I like to say it's a, it's a protector. It
Yes.
protects information. It makes sure that like no one else can say, "Oh, I'm going to actually change their information online
Yeah.
somewhere." It says, "Nope, I need to
Yeah, you can
verify
lock it. Yep.
yeah, exactly. You protect it, it locks your information. And that's why it's so important when you have this tool that the successful clients that we have had this tool for years.
Yes.
And their information has allowed to compound because it's locked and protected their information from having duplicates, from someone trying to change it,
Yep.
from anything happening to their information.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
super
Uh,
important. Super important.
Absolutely. Wow. Well, okay. So then what the side by side comparison to what you want to look like and what you don't. I think a good challenge for everybody would be to try an exercise, open up a browser tab or type your name, your name and the city into chat or Gemini or whatever, and then ask yourself, does your Google business profile show up? Or do you have recent reviews that you've added in the last 30 to 60 days? Are you asking clients or past buyers and sellers for the keywords to put in those reviews that we had talked about that help you rank? Is the NAP, your name, address, phone, all that stuff, is it
Yeah.
current? Do you have active updated profiles with new photos and posts and services? So it's like what we've been talking about. Do a Google search, go through, chat
Yeah.
yourself, say, I go, who is Max Bergstrom? Go in there and you can start there, or you can search what a client would.
Yeah.
So I would say go through that and really, there's we've had agents that that we've worked with that had no visibility at all
Hmm.
and started this. And look, it's not a miracle, it doesn't happen right away, but this compounding effect, it
Yeah.
does happen. And so it's the consistency. And it's, if you think about it, AI is scanning constantly. So the more consistent you are over time, it's just going to gather more and more and more and more and more and more and more, and then more targeted, because you're going to get better. You're going to sharpen, if you're following the roadmap that we're laying
Yeah.
out for you. And
Yeah.
then that it's going to start to compound. And when it does, then boom, it can really grow fast.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's an amazing thing what it can do. And it's better late than never, honestly. Like that's something that I think that sometimes people need to hear is like, yes, you might feel behind, but you can catch up.
Yeah.
And with the right team, with the right system, with the right support, you can do it. And honestly, if you are doing like going on Google and you're trying to audit and you're like, I just still don't understand like if I am coming up or I'm not coming up or why I'm not coming up, like give us a call.
Yeah.
We'll do an audit with you.
Can look
Like
into
we
it.
will show
Absolutely.
you like where you are lacking on your directories. We will show you where your competitors are versus you. So if
Yeah.
that's something you want, give us a call or,
Yeah.
email us. Like,
We're super active on the
yeah,
gram.
yeah,
I mean, we're active everywhere. Okay.
yeah,
We're everywhere, but we love the gram. And if
yep,
you're an agent and you love the gram, then you know what? Hit us up on the gram. I don't
yeah.
know why I'm trying to talk like a cool kid. I don't know why I'm doing that.
What Max is meaning is Instagram.
Yeah. But yes, we're everywhere. But and also the visible agent guide,
Playbook.
right? I mean that
Yeah.
the playbook, like you can get that. You can get a lot of info there. So you go to agentelite.com/visible, check that out. But yeah, guys, I mean this stuff, if you get on it now and you're consistent, you will see results. We've seen it over and over again. So go do some research on yourself. And if something doesn't come up or you don't like the results, that's when you give us a call. All right. We're going to help you out.
Woo.
All
Let's
right.
do it.
Until then, hey, this has been Elite Zone. We appreciate you, Blake. Have a great rest of your day. And everybody get out there and get after it. We'll see you next week.